One of the easiest scale books to use just arrived. Let's go take a look. I created the scale book for my students and based on my own experience. None of the scale books that I used that I'm aware of had a table of contents, so finding the scale that I needed to learn was always pretty frustrating. In this book, if you, let's say you need to learn A flat major, you simply go to page 32 and off you go. All of the teachers that I used, whether it was my private teachers or in summer camps, basically assumed that you will take music theory outside of their class and they only taught you violin. Well, this book explains to you what a scale is, how it's based pretty much on the piano, and that all the major and minor scales will have the same pattern of whole and half steps, but when they're changed around, you get your different scales. Another thing I found pretty frustrating was knowing where my positions are and why they are there. This simple map shows you that if you take the string from the nut to the bridge, divide it in half, that is your octave, half division of the string will be a seventh position. If you divide the string into quarters, you get your third position, where your third finger goes in first position, and the third division of the string is where your pinky will go, and that is the fourth position. These are where your natural harmonics are. Then we go into how and why to practice the particular scale. We start with slow bows, where we're going to listen for intonation. That best is done by listening to rings, forced vibration, or resonance, where the other strings vibrate when you play the note with the finger. You're going to work on your shifts next because that is the hardest part to really land in tune. It's a huge change, and that is usually where we're most prone to make mistakes. Then we'll follow with slurs, slur 4, 6, 8. Practicing of rhythms is a fantastic technique to get your scales fast and in tune, where you use the slow note to prepare, and the fast note is where you practice half of the scale fast. So this very detailed manner explains to you what you should practice and how, then followed by your other slurs, slur 8, 12, and 24. Majority of regional and all-state orchestras will require you to do slur 8, and that's where this is, but there is slur 12 and 24 that you should also practice. Now when you get to the scales, you'll notice that you have C major and you have A minor. Those are your relative major and minors. They share the same key signature, but when you start with different notes, you will end up with a different scale. So to get your relative minor, you basically go down 3 half steps. So C down to B to B flat to A, and starting from A using the same pattern, you get an A minor scale. Majority of scales that you should practice will be melodic minor, meaning the 6th and 7th note are raised, and then it's lowered on your way down. You'll notice that the scale book gives you some tips, what you should practice and why. It brings out and explains where you're going to make the most mistakes. All the shifts are highlighted, and that's the parts you should practice by themselves. No matter what or how advanced you are, you should start with the 2-octave scale, 2-octave arpeggio, 3-octave scale, 3-octave arpeggio, and also do an octave scale. Now, this is not an exhaustive list of techniques or scales you should practice, but this is the very base foundation. You can flip through all the scales, and this particular book uses majority of the 3-octave scales, the Flesh scale system. But let's say you don't like it or you want to try a different one. Towards the end of the book, there is an alternate fingering pattern that is based more on the Gingold, where you start with the first finger for all of your major scales. If you don't have an easy to use scale book that you're happy with, give this a go. Link is in bio. Thanks for watching.